Marty, you're going to be up first. Here's a dramatic photo I added to your deck. Maybe you can describe this photo and then we'll start going through your slides.
um, any of your audience that is our reenactors will instantly recognize this as Fort Erie a few years ago. Now, uh, of course, a lot of my photos are modern photos because no one was taking pictures in 1810, 1812, et cetera, until about 1860. So this is actually a field gun, a 6 pounder in action at Fort Erie. Um, there's infantry in the background, and I don't know if I have a lot to say about this other than I use photos like this in training quite often because I'm trying to emphasize, especially with the infantry, that it is not, even though we're firing a blank charge at about half of the service weight, that is not a safe place to be in front of the muzzle of that gun.
Well, and I'm much the same. Whether I reenact on the British side for those of us that don't know us as reenactors. So I'm with the Crown Forces doing War of 1812. So whether it's my own artillery behind me or the artillery we're facing, we're very conscious of the cone in front of a gun, not just from the percussion or sound, but as you can see, the flames and explosive gases coming out of the muzzle of that gun right there. So it's something we take very seriously, even though we're pretending or recreating. Playing with black powder, it's a highly explosive substance, and there's a high degree of risk associated with it. And that's why we spend a lot of time training and then also implementing safety protocols.
Actually, sorry, Tom. Can
Yeah,
I jump in real quick? Just because I
ab-
think, can you go to back to that photo? I just, one thing that I kind of want to plant a seed, and then we're going to cycle back when I'm chatting a little bit later. But I think this is a great photo. And what you two gents really hit on, like the amount of force that is coming out of the barrel. And like this being a reenactment, there's no actual projectile. It's not quite the full service charge. And I think what a lot of people who you can't tell from this photo, and maybe people who watch reenactment maybe not may not see, is that the force coming out of guns in this era, leading right up until the to the U.S. Civil War, would cause those guns to recoil. The whole gun would roll backwards, and the gunners would have to push the gun back into position, back into battery, they might call it, back into the position. It was very, very laborious, and it would also slow down the rate of fire. And I want to just plant that seed because when we talk about the back half of the 19th century, we're going to see how a major technological evolution that eliminated that, and it was one of the very first revolutions in American in military affairs that totally was a game changer on the battlefield. So sorry to interrupt.
no, not at all. That's kind of what I hoped we'd have is that we have conversations around these things. And then Marty, correct me if I'm wrong. Like if a gun's in place for a period of time, that then not only you get the recoil, but you get degradation of the ground, right? So like with a siege, they would actually build a gun platform to help preserve the position longer.
Yes, and to aid in aiming, believe it or not. So there would be you would set up a deck, makes the gun easier to work. It does increase the recoil. I would just go into the recoil. You see the two gentlemen standing between the wheel and the barrel of the gun. Okay, in the field, the gun will, of course, roll away from them. They will remain stationary, and they're the markers. So the rest of the gun crew rolls the gun back up to those two gentlemen. Right? Think about it. That's their job. Part of their job is they're stationed in such a way the backs of their legs are against the axles or the axle. So the to respot the gun quickly, you would just bring it back to those two gentlemen who ideally don't flinch much. And I've been in a position once where a gun did recoil away from me, and it was surprising because you don't see that much in reenacting world. but these guns can recoil anywhere from 4 to 6 feet back. That's how
Wow.
far it would roll back with a service charge and a projectile. Which is why the man firing has a long stick, so he doesn't break his arm when the gun rolls past him.
Yeah, and I'll point out, and maybe I'll link to it at the end of the video. We have another good video of a Royal Artillery Group Battle Axe Company taking us through all the steps involved with the proper way to prepare the gun for firing, loading it, firing it, and then what you have to do to prepare for the next round. So so that way we don't spend too much time on that here.